When tragedy strikes and family members are miles apart, getting information about a loved one can seem like an impossible task. That's why Fort Hood immediately set up the Family Assistance Center hotline. Angie Malone reports on how the folks at Army Community Service organized employees and volunteers to answer thousands of phone calls from around the world.
Yes, ma'am. Let me give you the number for Scott and White.
The Lane Volunteer Center is one of 4 locations where Army Community Service volunteers and employees work to get the answers for worried callers.
We are getting calls from people that are looking for members that are working here on post via a soldier or contractor. They haven't heard from them, want to know what's going on. We've had lots of people coming in with donations and stuff. So that does my heart good to know that everybody around the world is just eager to send things, send donations, whatever it is they want to donate.
The Family Assistance Hotline is manned round the clock by volunteers working hard to get the necessary information. Many of them have personal connections to the military, like Mary Beth Harrell, married to a former soldier, now with sons in the military. She felt this was the best way she could help out.
I'm a lawyer, and I don't have a lot of skills like being a nurse or a social worker, but I can answer the phone. And I think that's what's so great about all the folks who have volunteered to come to ACS and answer phone lines is we can answer the phone, and we can be a comforting voice and maybe point people in the right direction. Hey, you need to talk to this person or call this phone number. And it's so important sometimes just to hear that voice on the other end of the phone line that's there because they want to be there because they really care about taking your call.
Army Community Service takes its mission seriously, helping soldiers and their families in good times and bad. When tragedy strikes, it just takes a little extra coordination and cooperation to be there round the clock for worried families. For most of those working the phones, it's a way to give back.
I understand how these families feel. I mean, they want to find out any and all information they can. And it's just my passion to help soldiers and help family members. And it's just something that, I couldn't have stayed home and not come out here to help because, they need to know something, whether it's good or bad or indifferent.
In addition to the Lane Volunteer Center, Family Assistance Center hotlines were set up at the Resiliency Campus, North Fort Hood, and Mobilization Brigade. Reporting from Fort Hood, Julia Connor, 3 Corps Public Affairs.
In the aftermath of the deadly attack at the deployment readiness site, the entire community pulled together in support. The United Services Organization was just one of the many agencies on post who sprang into action to lend a helping hand. Dave Larson has more.
As soldiers from the 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment stood guard outside the crime scene, volunteers from the USO worked around the clock to keep the troops hydrated and fed.
Our main mission is to be here to set up to take care of our soldiers, to be able to provide them nutritious meals, beverages, and a home away from home in such a hard time right now for the installation.
In the wake of this horrific tragedy, it was a comfort to soldiers knowing that they could depend on the help and support of the military community and agencies like the USO.
Well, the USO has just been fantastic today. They've been helping us all through the night. They had dedicated workers here. They've asked us what we needed, and everything we've asked for, they've gotten us, and they've even gotten us more.
The USO is known more for its efforts to entertain and provide comfort to troops serving in harm's way overseas. They sprang into action here when harm's way hit closer to home.
I love this installation. I'm very proud to be a part of Fort Hood. We are a dynamic team. Our garrison, our commanders, General Cone, and as an installation, we're going to move forward from this. It's just making sure that we take the time to take care of those who are making all the right steps here to make sure that what happened is taken care of.
Kraus said Fort Hood's USO Center has received condolence calls and support from around the world. She said anyone wishing to support their efforts can find out more at www.uso.org. From Fort Hood, I'm Dave Larson, 3 Corps Public Affairs.
Fort Hood held a memorial ceremony for the fallen in front of the 3 Corps headquarters. Among the thousands who came to pay respects to the victims of the Fort Hood shootings were the President and First Lady of the United States. Jana Lewis files our final report.
Today we gather to mourn the loss of 13 American heroes. Drawn from 11 different states across this nation, they answered the call of service to others. They ranged in age from 19 to 62. 3 were women, 10 were men. Among them, they had 19 children, and one of them had a child on the way.
Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" Then I said, "Here am I. Send me."
Your loved ones endure through the life of our nation. Their memory will be honored in the places they lived and by the people they touched. Their life's work is our security and the freedom that we all too often take for granted. Every evening that the sun sets on a tranquil town, every dawn that a flag is unfurled, every moment that an American enjoys life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that is their legacy.
The ceremony meant a lot to me because, it showed the world and the people how great the soldiers were, and to have the president come to personally be himself shows the respect that they have for the U.S. military.
I thought it was a beautiful tribute to our fallen comrades.
I was honored to be a member of the service for those 12 years and to support my husband, Sergeant Major Castro. And so this is an extended family for me. And so it was a privilege to be here to render my respects to those that have served, even after I'm no longer serving.
It's a spirit we saw in the 13 soldiers who gave their lives here. Men and women who believed in the values and ideals this country stands for, and men and women who willingly served those ideals.
But the biggest trait they had in common was to volunteer to be part of something bigger than themselves and serve our great nation. In doing so, they became members of our extended Army family. Our hearts and prayers go out to those families who have borne the loss of this terrible tragedy.
So we say goodbye to those who now belong to eternity. We press ahead in pursuit of the peace that guided their service. May God bless the memory of those that we have lost. And may God bless the United States of America.